Ayubowan, Vanakkam. I wish all the people of this country and all the leaders and religious leaders and our mentors. I am Tilaka Raja, former member of parliament from Nuwara during the Yahapalne Raja 2015 to 2020. I was a member of parliament, elected member. Then I didn't run for the election in 2020 for different reasons, but I am contesting in this election, in presidential election 2024. I wish to draw the attention of the policy makers of this country in this juncture. The reason behind, I am from the plantation sector. The sector itself categorized by Central Bank of Sri Lanka and the Department of Statistical and Census of Sri Lanka that there are three categories: urban, rural and estate. So categorically said that I am from estate sector. So the socio-economic indicators of this country categorized as three sectors, same like the people also categorized in the different ways. Once you get the census reports, we have been recognized or named as Indian Tamils, not as Sri Lankans. So I have a pain to tell this country that I want to be a Sri Lankan first. So there are ethnicity identities we know, but why still we are here for 200 years from India, that we have been taken or brought by British colonial era for the plantation sector. Then we are living here more than 200 years, but still we have been named as Indian Tamils. Also, not only that, also we have deprived of citizenship in 1948. As soon the independence, our own parliament deprived our citizenship and the voting rights. We were here more than 34 years without citizenship. We have kept under the estate management. The same estate sector still continue with the different aspects of management of plantation sector as well as the community. There are so many stories that to tell. That's what my motto is in these elections: not to win but to tell. What to tell? So there are a lot of things to that. I was saying that I am trying to draw the attention of the policy makers. I take one policy from the Sri Lankan state or Sri Lankan government. It's released in or enacted in 2018. I must show this policy paper or policy document. It's about policy on healthcare delivery for universal health coverage. This is a common policy which is to cover vulnerable communities, to cover the vulnerable communities, to have the basic level health concerns. This is for all vulnerable communities. But they are in the policy they have given lots of opportunities or plans how they are going to implement. In the implementation part, implementation measures, the 7.8, the clause says, considering that the reform addresses universal health coverage, the policy is to ensure that the recognition would include and provide access to all vulnerable communities. Example, the shared care cluster would include all primary care hospitals in plantation sector. It would ensure that migrant workers and their families have access to primary health. So my message here is, what this policy says, still we are migrant workers of this country, not the citizen of this country. So my worry is, when the Sri Lanka going to recognize us as a citizens and they are going to give the services us. This is the main message that I would like to pass to this country, to all the citizens. And the same time that I would like to show another document which is reported to Human Rights Council of United Nations General Assembly in 2022 September. So the reporter was Contemporary Form of Slavery, Including Causes and Consequences, Tomoyo Obakato. He was visiting to Sri Lanka during that period, and he was reporting in several items on that, that minority issues and workers issue, women's issues. There are so many issues. I take only one, that how we have discriminated in this country. They have reported to UN even. In Sri Lanka, contemporary forms of slavery have an ethnic dimension. In particular, Malay Tamils, that means Indian Tamils. Now we ourselves that we are declaring that Sri Lankan Malayaga Tamils, who were brought from India to work in the plantation sector over 200 years ago under British colonial rule, continued to face the multiple forms of discrimination on the basis of their descent, making them vulnerable to labor exploitation. So it clearly says exploitation is happening, and also contemporary forms of slavery have in the estate sector. It also mentioning in the same report, access to health and social care is limited on the tea plantations. On same estates there are no qualified doctors, and the dispensaries are staffed by so-called estate medical assistants who only provide basic service and low cost medicines. Due to the remoteness of the plantation, there are no quality hospitals nearby, and workers often have to pay for private transport to access the health care, including in the event of emergency. So these are the situation in the health. But once you get the household survey of Sri Lanka and other reports on any indications, even the poverty, it shows that estate sector are very low. So what is the reason behind? Still Sri Lanka didn't recognize this community as the citizen of Sri Lanka, and the state is not ready to provide the services to this community. So my appearance in these elections, not to win, we all know that as a Malayaga Tamil, from the Malayaga Tamil community, I cannot be the president. That's not mean that I am not eligible to do. Even though I am eligible, because of the reason, the culture what we have in the what are the political culture we have in this country, I cannot be the president of this country. But as the former member of parliament with the capacity as an independent candidate, I pass this message to the policy makers, not only the politicians, policy makers, and to the nation, that how we are treating our own brothers and sisters as a third class citizen in this country. We understand that all we have the economic issues and we are in the bankrupt country. That I would like to mention here that now we have announced that declared ourselves as a bankrupt country in 2022, but over 200 years there are our own people bankrupted by our own state. They are backbone of this economy. They have been not treated as the equal citizen of this country. So this message must go to all lineup. You know, in the it's not only the I have taken this health issue for example. We have been given even the free education. In 1943, it has been introduced to Sri Lanka, but it has been given to Sri Lankan plantation community in 1983 only. So 40 years behind. We are far behind in the education as well, school education. So estate roads, estate health, estate postal peons. We don't have address to our own house. So post all the posts goes to the estate office, then they will deliver through their estate staff or estate appointed postal staff. Like there are some in few estate there are services. So still there is a community without address, they are living in this country. Apart from that, I have the national concerns. I am showing that in my manifesto. It's listed above what kind of proposals that I can give this country, that to develop our nation as a general or citizen of with all other ethnics, and as a citizen of Sri Lanka, how we can develop our own country. Especially I was working on the national evaluation policy and national evaluation bill to be passed in the parliament. During that our tenure in the parliament, I was working hard. Still I am working with the Sri Lankan Evaluation Association and other OPAs in the region and the globally to bring that kind of anti-corruption tool. That's not only the anti-corruption tool, but we have to measure ourselves what kind of development we are taking over. In the last Aragalaya and all the youths who were participated in that Aragalaya, they were raising the question that what happened to our country, that we are independent 76 years ago, 76 years almost now, that what happened to our developments, what happened to us. So there is no answer, because we don't have any evaluation that what kind of development we have taken. We have developed, we have done we have done development in this country, you know, especially we can say that accelerated Mahawali project, like, you know, the mega power projects that we have done. But at the same time that we have to think that what kind of development that we have invested in later part of the independence. In the initial ages we had some plans, so 10-year plan, 5 years plan, like that plan we had. In the later part or last 20 years, like all the political, you know, manifestos, party political manifestos turn into the plan, so the national plan, like. So we need a national planning commission or some kind of apex body. I don't mention that commission, any type of, you know, Niti Aayog, like in India, that planning commission. We can benchmark our neighboring country Bhutan, even how they are running their country with the planning. So we don't have any planning apex body to plan the future of this country. So those kind of development aspect and also the discrimination aspect from our community and also the national concerns with the development, I am here to address the nation, that kind of person from the vulnerable community, how I can take part in this journey to develop our country. So I think so that from this video clip that I have reached you. So my humble request is, you have the option in the president election, you can write 1, 2, 3, you have 3 options, not to just mark it select that. You can image that, or you have an idea on that one of any candidates that he will be the leader or she will be the leader. I am giving that option to all the citizens of this country. You take all 3 options and give us the feather symbol. And Mailwagan Tilakaraja from the vulnerable community from the state sector is reasonable. What he is saying is reasonable. He want to be the Sri Lankan first, and he want to be a part of the development sector or the recognition of the Sri Lankan as Sri Lankan citizens. So my humble request is to all the people of this country. No, there is no despite of ethnicity and all. So think about the nationality and the vulnerable community, and all should take into one platform. So my humble request is, you can have the option number 1 and number 2 for any candidates that you like, that you believe that he will be the president or he should be the president to lead the country. At the same time, by heart, give your solidarity to the vulnerable community who are living in the state sector in this country, and giving their backbone to the Sri Lankan economy over 200 years. Still they are living in the vulnerable condition. So this message, that number of votes that I am getting, this message must tap or goes to the policy makers of this country. So in future, I think so, by this message, this kind of policy making, it won't happen. It should not happen. We must get together. We must go together as a nation, as a people, as a citizen, to reach our targets in 2030. As SDG says, leave no one behind. That is the core goal of the SDG. Is global standards, that all we know. So by 2030, as if we reach that SDG targets, leave no one behind. So my request is, the people who are living in the estate sector already left behind. They have lots of issues that I can address for hours and hours, but I am taking this opportunity through this media, through this opportunity as the presidential candidate. Treat equally and recognize us as Sri Lankan Malayaga Tamils or Sri Lankan Hill Country Tamils. What is the difference between Sri Lankan Tamils and Sri Lankan Malayaga Tamils? We want to be Sri Lankan. We don't separate this country. So we love Mother Sri Lanka. We want to be children of Mother Sri Lanka. So accept our idea, what we are trying to say, that we are ready to contribute to develop the nation, and also to live with our dignity. So our motive is that we are Sri Lankan. Please recognize as a Sri Lankan citizen, meaningful citizen. Thank you very much.